Hello again, viewers. Thanks very much for joining me for this quick update. Watch until the end. We've got a wee £100 Jet2 voucher. So if you're thinking of booking a last minute holiday to Tenerife or anywhere else really, or for next year, then I've got a code for £100 off. Check out Facebook, Scotsman in Tenerife. I'll leave a link below the video because I've also posted some of these codes before, so 3 or 4 people have already used them. Occasionally I will get them and I'll post them if I'm not going to use them. So I'll leave a wee link at the end of the video. I've got some updates today. Let's get serious. I've got the pound glasses on and I've wrote them down so I don't forget them because my memory is quite bad. PCR tests, we're going to cover that in a wee second. Antigen tests at the test centres, some important information I forgot to mention in quite a few videos that I've done. Really important when you go to book your appointment at the antigen test centres in Tenerife, remember and take your passport. So won't really be a big deal for most people because they're pretty close to most places, but let's say you have to walk 10-15 minutes and there's a big queue to get in, which there isn't quite a lot of them just now, then you're going to be quite annoyed if you get there to book the appointment and then they say we need your passport, because that's what I done the last time I was there, and I had to walk all the way back to the apartments to get my passport and then book in the appointment. But it's pretty simple. When you get there, just head to any of the test centres, get your appointment booked, head back 48 hours or less before you're due to fly back, get the test done, you get the results normally within about an hour and probably cost about €35 for an antigen. If you don't need PCR, then just do the antigen, it's going to be cheaper obviously. Why would you pay more? Some countries do require PCR, so check obviously your individual country requirements online. So just a wee update with the antigen test. Remember, bring your passport. There is some companies now offering online booking. So if you're going to any of the hospitals, they've got an online app that you can download, and I believe you can book your appointment through them. So that's just going to save you a wee bit of time and maybe stress waiting in the queues. I have noticed recently that some of the queues are very long, especially at the one at the Arona Gran Hotel in Los Cristianos. So if you're going to Los Cristianos and you're not fussed what test centre you use, you might want to head up to the other one next to Harriet's Tea Room, just next to the bus terminus. I've done a video walking there as well, check it out on the channel, just shows you exactly what it is, but that seems to be a wee bit quieter and possibly the opening hours might be a wee bit longer as well. So let me know how you got on with that anyway. Just a wee heads up, bring your passports and you book your appointments. PCR tests, done a wee video the other day just letting you know, £20 PCR tests are available with expert medicals. I don't recommend this company, use at your own risk. I've used them with no issues, but there's been various reviews online saying people have not received the results within 2 days, and some people saying they've not even received the tests. So use at your own risk. I'm just letting you know they are available. If you want really quick results, you're probably going to use one of the suppliers that's got good reviews like Randox. So normally they're returning results within 24 hours. It can take up to 2 days obviously. You're probably going to pay about £43 for those PCR tests. But if you're not bothered about isolation or getting quick results, then you might want to consider expert medicals, but use at your own risk, £20. The good news is there's some companies now doing express tests, so you'll actually get the results definitely within 24 hours. Most of these are on-site airport tests. So this is quite important if you're thinking of booking a flight back from Tenerife or anywhere else. You might want to consider a morning flight, so that'll get you back in the airport in the afternoon. You can quickly take the test and then you should get the results back by 12 PM midnight that night with most of these companies. So there's quite a lot of companies now doing it in the London airports and Manchester, and some of the regional airports have been added in the next few days. These tests normally start from about £60, so they're more expensive because they're quicker, but they're quite good for people who are worried maybe about work. So if you're thinking about going to Tenerife or Spain, but you're not quite sure, you thought, oh, I'm not sure about the isolation, I can't risk tests coming back late, then you might want to consider paying a wee bit extra for these tests as well. Just check out the government approved list. You'll have to go through them all, I'm afraid. I don't really recommend any companies on there, so just go through them all and you'll find a couple of companies doing that as well. There's also a comparison site that checks all the available testing for you as well. I'll leave a link for that, and you can filter that to your needs as well. So it's pretty simple. One thing I will notice, during the night, quite a few of the PCR website tests were down. So I think they're overwhelmed by demand. So sometimes when you go to book your PCR test online with some of these companies, you might think they're not taking tests anymore or their website isn't working. But then you're checking in the morning, their website's back up. So I think they maybe just doing some maintenance during the evening. So just bear in mind, if you are booking the test in the middle of the night, you might want to wait till the morning if some of these sites are down. It's frustrating, I know, but that's what it is. Okay, so a couple of things we need to cover as well. We've got some new restrictions, I think, coming in from the 10th of December in Tenerife regarding bars and nightclubs. Now, it's not really anything that's going to affect your holiday here, to be honest with you. Everybody getting into Tenerife at the moment are going to have to be fully vaccinated anyway, so it's not going to make any difference. If you have to go into a bar or a nightclub and show your vaccination status, it's really not going to make any difference to you. You're just going to have to make sure you've got proof of it, either a letter, printed copy, or you've got the NHS app downloaded on your phone. So really it's not going to make any difference to anybody. I think they're talking about making it voluntary. So bars and maybe clubs who participate in it will possibly get longer opening hours and maybe get increased capacity. So not even everywhere is going to enforce it. Don't worry about it. It won't affect your holiday at all. Only person that could really affect is maybe if you've been in Tenerife already a month or two before these new levels and restrictions come in and you're not vaccinated, then you might have an issue in some places, but I seriously doubt it's going to be too much. I was there when they had these restrictions in before. Very few places enforced them. I think some places will enforce them, but I don't think it's going to affect the vast majority of people. So don't worry. If you're going to Tenerife soon and you're worried about bars and nightclubs, etc., I wouldn't worry about it at all. You're going to have to have vaccination proof anyway going through the airport and getting into Tenerife. So it's really not going to be any big deal at all. Obviously, if level restrictions do change, there could be a difference in the capacity of venues, which will make it harder to get in, but just book in advance and there's plenty of places you'll get in somewhere, so don't worry about it. These new restrictions are not really going to affect most people. We updating the flights. Flights are very cheap at the moment to Tenerife. Check them out. I've seen Ryanair flights going out for under £10. Check the wee video done, the tip, how to save money on hand luggage when you add it with Ryanair. So you're looking at maybe a one-way flight with Ryanair, including 10 kilograms, just over £20, flying through many airports in the UK. Hotels and apartments are still quite expensive because it's Christmas and New Year. Do a search on TripAdvisor, Booking.com, just check all the sites. You'll find something. The good news is the flights are cheap. If you're willing to go out there and have the stress of the test, the antigen test on the way back, which I know is stressful, let's not kid ourselves on saying, oh, this is no big deal, just go and enjoy your holiday. There's no doubting it's stressful. If you test positive over there, you're going to have to isolate for 10 days. And you obviously get insurance to cover this. There is the COVID cover insurance with the Canadian government. You need to read the fine print on that, but I just recommend getting your own insurance that covers that. If you're booking package holidays with Jet2 and TUI, they offer good insurance that covers it, gives you peace of mind, so I recommend that. You can actually get cheaper insurance if you do it online, do comparisons, but for peace of mind, you might want to go through one of the big tour operators. They'll look after you as well. So good news is, flights are cheap, accommodation not so cheap at the moment, but there's still some good bargains if you're heading out to Tenerife and you're willing to take the test on the way back. The tests are very easy, it's just the stress, as if you test positive, you're going to have to isolate, and let's not kid ourselves, that is a hammer blow for the travel industry. These tests will need to be scrapped quite soon. There's going to be another UK government update by the 18th of December. I think it might even come sooner than that. If they find out the variant's not as serious, then you might find these tests might get scrapped quite quickly. If it is serious, of course it could go the other way. You could have more countries added to the red list. We just have to wait and see. I'm not an expert. I've got my own thoughts on it, but we'll wait and see what happens. I think hopefully by January things are going to improve. I know that doesn't help a lot of the guys who had holidays booked, especially families with children who weren't vaccinated, couldn't physically be vaccinated. And I feel really sorry for all the people. But hopefully in January things are going to improve. So, the voucher, £100 Jet2 voucher. Remember, check out Facebook, Scotsman in Tenerife. If you're new to the channel, welcome, thanks for watching. The wee button below, just there, wee red button, hit subscribe, it's absolutely free. Hit the wee bell for all notifications. There's the Jet2 voucher, I'll put it right up next to the camera. Don't worry if you can't read it, I'm going to leave a wee link in the comments to it as well. So you can use that. Needs to be a minimum of 2 people on this booking. And let me know who's the first person to use it. It'll save you £100 on a Jet2 holiday. Thanks again for watching. Really, really appreciate it so much. Any questions, just leave a comment below. Some good news, some not so good news. But hopefully we'll all get to Tenerife in Spain soon. Thanks for watching.